Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back again to our channel. And it is my hope and prayer that this particular video is actually going to find you guys in good health. Personally, I am fine. Kisumu is also fantastic. Maybe you could also let me know where you are watching this particular video from, the county or the country, in case you are out of the republic. There is something which I've been thinking about, that William Samoei Arap Ruto is actually supporting the handshake with Raila Odinga, and that is doing it silently because he fears people like Rigathi Gachagua, Kimani Ichung'wah, and other Mount Kenya leaders around him, and the fact that he is not so sure how the mountain will react to the handshake. So in this video, I want us to look at why personally I strongly believe and convinced that Ruto is supporting this handshake. Before we do that, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, I want you guys to take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support, because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. And also allow me to take this opportunity to thank Timothy. I received your coffee. You can also do the same using the numbers on your screen. Let us get straight to the point. And let me pose this question to you guys. Is there anything which can stop Ruto from supporting the handshake? Let me reframe it. Who is likely to benefit more from the handshake? For me, if you ask me, William Ruto is actually supporting the handshake. And these are the reasons why I believe he's supporting the handshake. Number one, William Ruto is currently under the capture of the mountain. Rigathi Gachagua, Moses Kuria, Kimani Ichung'wah, and even the voters from the mountain are actually using Raila Odinga to blackmail him. So if he can get opportunity to shake hands with Raila Odinga, he will be able to deal with that particular blackmail. The fact is, in parliament, the mountain has numbers. If you look at Raila Odinga's numbers in parliament, which is going to bring on the table, should they have a handshake, and the numbers from the mountain, William Ruto would rather have Raila Odinga's brigades supporting him. In fact, that explains the reason why Uhuru Kenyatta also entered into the handshake with Raila Odinga. So the fact of the matter is that currently William Ruto is tired with the blackmail from the mountain. At some point, he tried using Musalia Mudavadi to deal with those blackmail by empowering Musalia Mudavadi, giving him more powers, giving him specific roles. But Musalia Mudavadi is just Musalia Mudavadi. As long as he can cut cake with the Stacy, Mudavadi is comfortable. So politically, the move to use Mudavadi has not worked well for Ruto. So for me, I tend to think that William Ruto is supporting this particular handshake silently because he's tired with the blackmail from the mountain. So that's my number one reason. Number two is the state of the economy. Anyway, before we talk of the state of the economy, I'm told that Rigathi Gachagua's Facebook page is on fire. Why? Because he accused Uhuru Kenyatta of being the reason why they've not paid civil servants. And the Kikuyu nation, especially those who supported Kenya Kwanza government, are on his neck. I'm told that wall is on fire. I don't understand Kikuyu, but you can, for those who understand Kikuyu, you can sample some of those comments which are scrolling on the screen. So the fact that the state of economy is bad, and Raila Odinga would want a situation where it goes further, the only solution is this handshake. William Ruto understands that. Because if Raila Odinga were to continue with the mandamanos, I don't know. If he were to continue with the mandamanos, the state of the economy was going to go down further. Investors were going to be chased away. Businesses were going to collapse, everything. And we are going to experience a similar thing like what happened in Sri Lanka, where a revolution was actually occasioned as a result of the high cost of living. So William Ruto, being the president of the Republic of Kenya, understands the state of economy. For Rigathi Gachagua, he's playing politics. In fact, even the gentleman called Kimani Ichung'wah was trying to justify that currently they are collecting money and then pumping them into debts. That Uhuru and Ruto and I don't know, Raila or whatever, left the country in huge debts. And the question is, where was Ichung'wah? Ichung'wah was the chair of the budget committee when these loans were being borrowed. Is the one who actually approved and signed. Remember, he was only removed during the last year when already the budget had been passed. So for me, because of the state of economy, the current state of economy, you can say what you want to say, but William Ruto is well aware of the situation, and for him to get out of that hole, he must have Raila Odinga on his side. And because he understands that coming out of pain would be dangerous, he's using the international community. And that's why the other day, when Kimani Ichung'wah tried to attack Raila Odinga after the truce, he was called by the British ambassador. And from that moment up to now, I don't know whether you've heard Kimani Ichung'wah running his mouth again. So he's supporting it. Number 3, William Ruto, as a president of the Republic of Kenya, would want to leave a legacy. One thing William Ruto wanted to do is to have a situation where he rules the country smoothly. You can only do that if you have the numbers and the legitimacy. William Ruto, as we speak, and Kenya Kwanza lacks that legitimacy. And therefore, almost half of the country is outside there. So it's the president, real, but half of the country outside. He would want a situation where he's ruling without noise. The noise coming from Azimio, the noise coming from now almost all sectors of our country is not good for him. He understands that he needs to rule smoothly. He needs to do certain things smoothly. He can only do that by having concurrence with the opposition. There are certain things where he will need the opposition. He would want, okay, I want to implement this through parliament, but the moment opposition will make noise, then, you know, those kind of things is what he doesn't really want, in my view. So silently, he's supporting this handshake. And the other reason why he's supporting this handshake, and for me, this is the most important one, is the fact that the international community are piling pressure on him to work with the opposition. Even before this alleged handshake, William Ruto had prepared a bill, or how do we call it, a memorandum, and submitted to the Speaker of the National Assembly. In that memorandum, he made several suggestions. One of them was the office of the official opposition in the country. And I don't know how it ended, but the international community are actually behind that. The international community today, as we speak in this country, they decided to elect a president on behalf of Kenyans. Ruto is a product of the United States of America and the UK, and he's now their burden. But these guys are realizing that William Ruto is moving into this country with certain crooks. And therefore, like for example, when he met with those Bulgarian guys, the other day you saw him with I don't know whether I can get the tweet. If I get the tweet, you'll be able to see it there, where people were like, can you support that specific individuals? So some of those people are people who are being accused of international money laundering, and they have a space. You know, even the people collecting taxes. So the international community feels that for Ruto to perform better, he needs to have a strong opposition. And that's why they are pushing Ruto to ensure that he works with Raila Odinga. And the easiest way to work with Raila Odinga is to create that office of the official opposition, have it fully funded, so that it can check the government. That is what the international community are saying. So they are doing that and putting pressure on Ruto to ensure that there is an official office for Raila Odinga and his brigades, so that they can put this government in check. And William Ruto cannot do anything, because these are the people who ensured he was declared the president of the Republic of Kenya. Rigathi Gachagua will say whatever he wants. Kimani Ichung'wah will say whatever he wants, but as long as the international community are keen on creating that office, they will create it. And they are doing that to allow Ruto rule, but with the proper checks and balances. In fact, if you've been following the debates from the international community, their argument is that elections in the country were conducted in a free, fair, and transparent manner. So if the elections were conducted in a free, fair, and transparent manner, the way they are suggesting, because they know they will be accused, so they cover that. Then they go ahead and suggest that you must have an office for the official opposition. So in short, they are piling pressure on Ruto, and Ruto is now trying to push that agenda through this window which is now prevailing. And I also tend to think that the other reason why Ruto is silently supporting this thing is because he wants to bait Azimio. And once Azimio is baited into this deal, he will now have a free hand. Remember what William Ruto's strategy is always very simple. In 2017, and it worked for him, in 2017, William Ruto believed very strongly that he only needed to sustain the Kikuyu votes. So what that meant is that he needed to create a rift between the Kikuyus, the Luos, and Azimio. He did that successfully, and was able to hold the Kikuyus. Right now, because of other factors, William Ruto has realized that the Kikuyu votes might now not be sure bet. Why? Because Uhuru Kenyatta is no longer a factor. So the only thing he's now trying to do is to come to come to Western Kenya, coastal region, because he believes he can eat some of those Raila Odinga support base. So he's beating Azimio to accept this. Once that's done, then he can now use that, because we are likely to have a referendum. The mountain are also talking of 1 man, 1 vote, 1 shilling, which I want to ask Raila Odinga not to push, because they tried with Uhuru Kenyatta, these guys rejected. Let those guys reject it, then Raila Odinga can now use that to reinvent himself to his previous bases like the northeastern Kenya, because we are in politics. So when a referendum will be initiated, like Kibaki and Raila campaign for the new constitution, Raila and Ruto will actually campaign together. And Ruto will use that opportunity to try and win the support of Raila Odinga support base. And lastly, I also tend to think that he's also trying to do this to avoid any blame. Kenya Kwanza as a government is going to find it very difficult, just like Jubilee government. The state of economy is bad worldwide, not only in Kenya. Based on what I'm foreseeing, farmers are not going to harvest good. They're not going to have good harvest the way Kenyans anticipate. And therefore, the cost of living will still continue to go high. The government is going to become unpopular, which is normal. By the way, don't misquote me. It's normal for any sitting government to become unpopular. Very normal. So the government is going to become unpopular. Once the government becomes unpopular, the masses will now start running away. So how do you prevent that? You bring Azimio on board. Have a handshake, bring them on board. Then they'll share the blame. Like Raila carried the burden of Jubilee failures alone, while Ruto then jumped and campaigned on that particular failure. So William Ruto would not want a situation where Azimio will get off, but in the end, they will be blamed for supporting the government. So Ruto will be like, but you guys were part of the government. I don't know what you think, but if you ask me, Ruto is silently supporting this handshake. He's praying for it day and night. Thank you guys, and may you have a good day. Bye-bye.